Hi, I'm Thea, Jirak. Welcome back to the Glory Be Block of the Month program. Today we're making block 4. Block 4 is the monkey wrench block, which you'll notice is in every corner of the quilt. You'll also notice on the Lexington version, which is the one that we're demonstrating and working on today, that the Lexington version has the flowers from the border print fussy cut into the center of the block. If you remember from other blocks in this program, the first thing that we're going to do is make half square triangles. You're going to take a pencil and your ruler and put together 2 squares, as it tells you in your pattern, and mark them with a line halfway down the middle. You're going to take 2 other squares and mark those halfway down the middle. Then go into your sewing machine, hold on to your threads, and we're going to sew just inside the 1/4 inch mark, 1/4 inch from that center line on both sides of the line. By holding onto your thread, when you get started, it keeps from pushing that fabric into the hole there. Turn your fabric around and sew another line. Now when I do these, I just chain them through. In other words, I don't break my thread between them. I just lift my presser foot and I sew all of my seams one block after another. Between them, I use the cutter on my sewing machine to cut the threads. Now I'm going to sew on the other side of that line. Now I'm going to take my rotary cutter and I'm going to cut between the lines on the drawn line, and this will give me my half square triangles. When you do this, you're going to open them up and you'll have a square that's made up of 2 triangles. And you'll have another square that's made up of 2 triangles. Remember on these that you're going to press your fabrics to the dark. So when you take these to your ironing board, you're going to press them open, making sure that you press to the dark. For today, I'm going to show you how to square these up by just finger pressing. We're going to take each one of these and square them up to 3.5 inches. Remember, we're going to use this 45-degree line on your ruler. That's why I was turning my ruler around, because I wanted you to notice that we're actually looking for that diagonal to run along the seam there. Take your rotary cutter and square up all 4 sides, 2 at a time. And then turn your block over. We're going to put that diagonal line back on the seam. Our 45-degree line is running there. We've lined up 3.5 across the side and 3.5 across the bottom. We're going to do that with all 4 of our blocks. Then we're going to take our strips, and it tells you what size and how many to cut in your pattern. We're going to take our strips and we're going to sew them together, remembering to use a scant 1/4 inch seam. And the goal here is we have 2-inch strips. We're going to sew them together and we want them to open up and press open to 3.5 inch. Once we've sewn those together, we're going to subcut them. We're going to cut them again into 3.5 inch sections. Now what's important to notice when you cut these strips into the subsections, or you subcut them into 3.5 inch sections, is that you want to run one of your horizontal lines on your ruler right down the center of that seam, and it'll make sure that that block is square when you cut it. Remember also to leave 1 thread on the outside so that your square is 3.5 inches plus a thread. Those are helpful hints that when you put them together, will make sure that your block is big enough. We're going to make 4 of those. You can see I'm just matching up this center line here, the seam line with a horizontal line on my ruler, making sure that it's just a hair over, one thread over, 3.5 inches. I'm going to do the same thing here. And then I'm going to show you how the pieces go together. When you put all of these together in one block, it's a beautiful, beautiful block. Here's the center. Again, we fussy cut. We fussy cut from the border print to make the center of our block. I always like to place my pieces on a piece of flannel like we've done here. And if I have to make 4 of these, I'm going to stack 4 of them on a board. That way, when I go to sew them together, I'm going to get 4 that have all the seams going in the same direction and all the pieces exactly where they need to be before I sew them together. We'll square these up before we get going, but just so you can see how this block comes together. I like to put mine in opposing corners. One of the great things about this is if you'd like to make 2 of your blocks with all blue corners and 2 of your blocks with all green corners, that's great. It's just a different way to do it. So you're going to lay all your blocks out just like this. Now this is, again, a 9 patch. We have 9 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And when you have a 9 patch, you're going to sew it together in rows, 1, row 2, row 3. And then you're going to put your rows together. Your pattern has very specific pressing instructions so you know which way to press each of these pieces as you put them together. Just to go over what we've done in block 4, month 4, we've made our half square triangles. We've put our rows together, our strips together, and made sure that those squared up to 3.5 inches. We fussy cut our centers out, and then we put our blocks together. We finished with the blocks from month 4. You can take these now and put them with the blocks from month 3, month 2, month 1. We'll see you next month. Happy quilting.